Hey there everyone, CPO here, and I've got this Flyzone L-39 EDF jet. So pretty excited. This is my first EDF airplane. This comes from Tower Hobbies. So it is receiver ready. Pretty much it's take it out of the box, really quick assembly to finish the final assembly, and then it's pretty much ready to go. So comes with a neat little foam stand. This is a belly lander and a hand launcher, which is kind of interesting. Oh, I did have this little challenge where the stand little tips kind of broke off, I guess, in shipping, but it's okay. They don't do anything, but just be aware that, you know, this is really basically foam board. So put it together. It goes together really easy once you figure out how to orientate it. And then I decided to use hot glue to hold that together. You can use any foam safe sort of a glue, but I'm a hot glue guy, so I just hot glued the thing together, and I think that's going to hold really nicely. So anyway, supposedly can get 90 miles an hour out of this jet with a 4S 2200 milliamp battery. So basically all you need to do is get a receiver and a battery, and then everything else comes in the box, and it's ready to go. So, like I said, some very minor epoxy on the plane, and then, of course, here I'm just using a little hot glue for the stand. You could use epoxy here, too, if you wanted to, but anyway, so that's what the stand looks like. It's pretty simple. It's a great place to store it since it doesn't have a gear or anything like that. All right, here's a look underneath the engine bay at this EDF fan, and there's the ESC right there. Pretty cool little design, very neat. Just make sure you don't glue these covers on accidentally. They're all magnetically held. There's that cover right there, and then of course the canopy is held on with magnets as well. You can see how the intake is there. Then I decided to glue the wires for the ESC down so they're out of the way when I put this wing on. That's an optional thing I just did since I had the hot glue gun handy, and I know I'm going to be epoxying around that area. So 30-minute epoxy gives you plenty of time to work, and then of course with those wires hot glued down, they stay nice and tidy. So just coat everything down, and then that wing assembly is going to fit. It's keyed in these little slots. You can see them there. There's sort of a peg and slot sort of a structure. So it only goes in one way. Should be nice and easy. Make sure you feed your servo wires through to the canopy area, and then get everything pressed nice into place. Now they do recommend that if you use tape, to use paper or something to protect the finish on the plane. And I will admit right now I didn't do such a good job of protecting that, but I used a little bit of tape, and I wasn't as careful as I should have been. So just be real careful with that. All right, so there we go. I got the wing in place, and make sure all my wires are coming out to the front where I'm going to plug in my receiver. And then I'm using a 2x4 for this, and basically it gives the plane something to rest on where you're not setting it right on those servo and control horns for the ailerons. So here's how that looks, and you can see I do have a little tape there just to hold that in place. And this actually tape wasn't bad. I did a good job there of being careful, but it's later on where I wasn't as careful. But the 2x4 goes down, and that gives it something to rest on. And then I just use a sandbag. Basically, the point here is you want to put some weight on the fuselage as it rests on top of the wing, so that as that epoxy sets, it gets a nice solid seal. All right, and here it is after the epoxy is set, just a couple hours later, whatever, and bam, looking nice. All right, so now on the backside, epoxy where the tail feathers are going to go together. Do not get glue up into that front slot. That's actually removable. That's that little motor cover area there where the motor and the ESC are. And if you glue that, you won't be able to take that little cover off, so don't glue that front part. And I had this little tab back here that didn't want to stay straight while it was drying, so this is where I used some tape. I'm kind of okay here. This tape isn't so bad. I did a good job without destroying things. But it's this tape up front where I put it right on that. You see that black and white stripe? Yeah, I ripped those off, so my bad. So be real careful about that. But here's how it looks. Make sure your tail feathers are all nice and straight as it's drying. And then once you're done, we're ready basically for the battery and the receiver up front. So that's pretty easy, actually, if you ask me. So all is good. These little side tanks are magnetically attached. They're designed to break away when you land so you don't destroy them or the airplane. So just stick them on there. And then you can see also back here where I killed the paint job with the tape. Don't do that bad. I did that on both sides, but it is what it is. It's still going to fly great. And then we need to just attach this horn to the control rod for the elevator. Pretty simple stuff there. They recommend using the outside hole. Now we just need to put the battery and the receiver in.